in our focus, one of the most important issues is the situation in Gaza and, let's say, a broader region in Middle East. Yesterday, when we had this emergency meeting, the Algerian ambassador raised this issue that Security Council could use all tools to push parties concerned to implement what the Security Council resolutions, including sanction mechanism. Does Sierra Leone support to use sanction mechanism so far? And as president of the Security Council, what's your take on this issue?
We're here to ensure that we drive resolutions, that we work towards international peace and security. What is happening in Gaza is unfortunate, and that is why we've used every given platform to first condemn the October 7 attack on the innocent population of Israel, including women and children in Israel. We have absolutely, categorically condemned it as an act of terrorism. Equally so, we are frustrated and very much disappointed that the dastardly atrocities that continues to be meted to the people of Gaza, it's not fathomable, because it is against international law, it's against international humanitarian law. Over 40,000 people have been killed, mostly women and children. Many more have been made refugees and internally displaced people. A few days ago, we saw a school was destroyed where over 70 school-going peoples were killed. Well, being in the Security Council, we will continue to raise our voice, calling for permanent ceasefire in Gaza and for the implementation of the resolutions of the United Nations. This is repugnant, and it will leave a moral stain on our conscience if the carnage that is going on right now in Gaza is not halted.
So, two follow-ups. First, you said you categorically condemn the October 7th attack, but will you condemn what happened in Gaza?
Absolutely. We're talking about 40,000 people decimated, religious places destroyed, schools, hospitals. We're humans, and I think that is really, really frustrating in the 21st century, where leaders must think about the very eminent threats that we have, such as climate change, epidemics. We should not be opening front of conflict where proxies will play with the tools of war.
Can I say that maybe sanction is still on the table as a tool?
If the United Nations Security Council comes up with the proposal for sanctions to be slammed, and if it meets our principal consideration as a country, we will support. But if it is not holistic to bring the conflict to an end and to alleviate the suffering of the poor Palestinian people, and then we will look into that. But I'm very sure the Council is up to the task to ensure that measures are taken to stop the carnage that is going on there.
There are many crises going on in the world, not only Gaza, but some others people are largely ignored. For example, Sudan. The humanitarian disaster of Sudan is somehow off radar for many people, and it's still very underfunded. How do you think we can raise awareness to look at all other crises, including Sudan crisis in Africa? And also, we know there's a peace summit going on about Sudan soon. What's your expectation?
Well, it is expected that the international community should rally around the African Union to find solution to the conflict in Sudan. It is prognosticated that if this conflict is not brought to a halt, in September, over 2.5 million people are expected to lose their lives. That will be genocidal. And so any initiative that would drive peace to Sudan and ensure that the people of Sudan are free, then absolutely, it is our moral and principal obligation to ensure that we support any initiative that is brought to the Council for the conflict in Sudan to be dealt with.
Do you think international community should put more pressure on both sides in Sudan to wrap up or to accelerate their negotiations?
Absolutely, I think so. My president, His Excellency Dr. Julius Maada Bio, happens to be also a member. Our country is a member in the African Union Security Architecture, which is the African Union Peace and Security Council. We are there, and the president has also been very much concerned about what is happening in Sudan. And they've had a summit of the heads of state and government represented in the AUPS, and the president continues to raise his voice and to call for all the parties, both international and stakeholders in the African continent, to consider the matter, the case of Sudan, as a grievous case as it is in the case of Ukraine and also in Gaza.
Minister, thank you very much. Again, thank you for taking your time.
Thank you. The pleasure is mine.
Thank you.
Thank you.